Hi, I'm Renee Ledyard and I'm part of the NJHS reading Radiant Child. Somewhere in Brooklyn, between hearts that thump double Dutch and hopscotch and salty mouths that slurp with sweet ice, a little boy dreams of being a famous artist. In his house, you can tell a serious artist dwells. As he sits at a table with pencils scattered everywhere, Jean Michael draws from morning until night with a serious face amid in a storm of papers. He refuses to sleep until he has created his masterpiece. At night, images enchant Jean Michael's mind, and he wakes from his dreams just to add one more line. His drawings are not neat or clean, nor does he color inside the lines. They are sloppy, ugly, and sometimes weird, but somehow still beautiful. His art comes from his mother, Mathilde, a Puerto Rican woman who designs and sews, cooks and cleans, and makes the house look like a stylish magazine. But most important, she lies on the floor and draws with Jean Michael on his father's old work papers. From her, he learns that art is not only in poetry and books she reads to him or in the theaters at museums they visit. Art is the street of games of little children, and our style and the words that we speak. It is how messy patchwork of the city creates new meanings for ordinary things. While visiting the museum, they look at his favorite works of art, reading the story behind each artist, reading the story behind each work. This shows how Jean Michael learns what it means to be a famous artist. Back at home, he creates on the floor as his father Jared plays jazz records. Mama Mathilde cooks arroz con polo and calls Jean Michael mi amor. The energy and life of the city can be felt in each of his drawings. As time goes by, Jean Michael learns that his art has the healing power. After a car accident, he is scared and confused. Mathilde gives him a book to calm his fears. It is filled with pictures of bones, skulls, and other body parts. Jean Michael draws from it until he knows it all by heart. He no longer is afraid. Back at home, Jean Michael's body heals, but his heart breaks. His mother mind is not well, and the family breaks. She no longer lies on the floor and draws with Jean Michael, but sits by the window singing only to birds. Jean Michael is confused and filled with terrible blues. When Mathilde can no longer live at home, he tries drawing out the terrible out of his blues. But things are not the same. As Jean Michael grows older, he visits his mother when he can, always bringing his artwork to show, telling her that one day it will be in a museum when I am a famous artist. A teenager now, Jean Michael decides, Papa, I will be very, very famous one day, with a sly look and a twinkle in his eye. Jean Michael leaves from Brooklyn to New York City, the Lower East Side, a concrete jungle where only the tough survive. During the day, dressed in a green jumpsuit splattered with paint, Jean Michael stays with friends, sleeping on couches and floors, leaving collages and poem-filled papers everywhere he goes. At night, Jean Michael spray paints the walls downtown with poems and drawings that catch his eye of artists, gallery goers, and passerbyers. Under his art, he signs the name Samu instead of Jean Michael. Everybody wants to know who is Samu. Samu moves from street corners to gallery walls with powerful color, composition, and line, collaging and painting on anything he can find. His art is still not neat or clean, and definitely not inside the lines, but somehow still beautiful. With his magical charm, Jean Michael draws a crowd, but when it's time to work, he prefers to be alone with the radio and TV on full blast. Now in expensive suits splattered with paint, he flips through stacks of magazines and opens books, and paints into the night, and sometimes for days at a time, while sounds and images jump into his head. Jean Michael, an artist among artists, never doubts one line, creating from a soundtrack that is all his own. People describe him as radiant, wild, a genius child, but in his heart he is king, so he draws crowns for himself and others he admires. As a grown man now, with the art and world in his hand, Jean Michael still visits his mother while he can. And most important shows, above all critics, fans, and artists he admires, the place of honor is his mother's, a queen on a throne. He is now a famous artist.